Okay, hey guys, I'm Lauren. Um, my blog is Love Bites from Louis XX. I am making this video to just like kind of explain all the times that I've met the boys and stuff like that, because I met them, at least 5 times, and they were all pretty really good experiences. So, okay, let's start from the beginning. My first time I met them was in Boston at their first American signing. Obviously, minus Sane because he was in London again. But nevertheless, it was still really cool. Me and my friends waited outside for like 4 hours before we got in to get our wristbands, and only 500 people were supposed to be let in, but like thousands of people showed up, so it was like really, really crazy at the end of the line, and people were like punching each other and like getting arrested in the back, so it was like really, really crazy, and people kept trying to cut, so police, like men and women, were like walking up and down the side of the line making sure like nobody could leave and anything, like so you couldn't even get out of the line because like it was just crazy. But I was like near the 200 mark, so I was like pretty good. I was like safe, and we were all just like chill at the front of the line. Then we got in, we got our wristbands, and we had to go wait another like 4 hours in like the roped off section for the waiting for the boys to come out. And it was like really crazy. It was really loud. Like everybody was like chanting and singing like "What Makes You Beautiful" and stuff like that, because that's the only song half the people knew. But and then like the whole upper top, like you could see the boys from the second floor too. So there was like all girls who didn't get wristbands up there, and all of us like who did get wristbands on the floor. And there was like just a really lot of people, and then so finally the boys finally came out after like forever, and then like teasing us like, oh yeah, One Direction's here, and they weren't, like 20 minutes later. But so they came, and we got to the front of the line, and this is like the first time I've ever met them. I mean, I saw them in concert one time before that, but that was when they were opening for Big Time Rush, so it was only like 30 minutes of them, and I was fourth row, so it was really, really cool. And I happened to throw underwear on the stage, and Harry saw them and winked at me because I was like, those are mine. But so yeah, so then we got up there, and we had made them like a scrapbook thing, and my friend was gonna give it because she went first, then my cousin, then me. So she went first and gave it to Niall, and he was like, "Oh, thanks," and he just puts it in his box. Like he didn't really look too impressed. And then my cousin went next, and she gave him like a green rose, and he was like, "Oh, thanks," and he gave like a huge smile. It was like really, really cute. And then so I just kind of waved at him awkwardly because like I didn't know what to do. And then next was Harry, and I just really didn't say anything to Harry. I just kind of walked by because he wasn't looking up because they were all signing the CDs, so they don't really look up that much. So I just kind of walked by because I didn't think he was gonna look up. But I guess I looked back in my video, and he looks up like at the exact last second, and he was just like, and I was like, oh, whatever, like so. But I was already focused on Louis. And so I go up to Louis, and I was like, "Hi, I'm Louis," and he was like still signing, and I was like, "Oh my god, he's not gonna look up." But then he looks up, he's like, "Yeah," and I was like, "Can I have a high five?" And he's like, "Yeah, babe, sure," and he gave me a high five. And then I was like whisked away by security past Liam, so I didn't even get to see like what shirt he was wearing or anything. But it was really cool because like he called me babe, and I know he does that to everybody, but it was the first time I'd met them, and I was like fangirling to the max. So that brings us to the end of our first one. I have that video on YouTube if you want to see it. It's BlondieFan44. That's my my YouTube thing, and it's the Meeting 1D one, the first one. Okay, so this is the second time I met them. Now, I won VIP passes to the Today Show, and it basically just meant that I got to sit in like the middle of like the mosh pit, and it really sucked. Like I couldn't see anything, and I couldn't even hear them over the speakers that they were playing on. And the lights from behind them, like when they were performing, were so bright that it messed up my camera. So like I wasn't even able to get it on video, and I just didn't even know when they were on the stage or when they weren't. Like people were just screaming for no reason, so I couldn't even really see that. So I didn't hear them, I didn't see them. I only saw them. I couldn't even see them when they arrived on the bus. Like all I saw was like Josh and the band on the top, which was okay, but I mean it wasn't that great. So I ended up really not liking the Today Show. But then after that, I had gotten a wristband earlier in the week to go to J&R, which was on the same day as the Today Show. So they were doing a signing, and so then we went to J&R, and we learned that, like, if you're in the front of the line, it's not that good because they just, like, sign so fast and you don't have time to talk to them. So we waited kind of near the middle of the line, near the endish of the line, which became, like, the front of the line because there were so many people there. They kept giving out more and more wristbands. And so then we found this guy. His name was Leo. My mom and my aunt actually met him at the Today Show, and he's like a hardcore One Direction fan. He was actually like interviewed on the Connecticut News, which I was on the Connecticut News too. You could see me giving Liam a high five. But he was interviewed for being like one of the hugest guide directioners, and he bought 24 copies of Up All Night for them to sign, which is like at $10 each. Do the math, that's a lot of money. And so he bought them so he'd have enough time to talk to them while he signed all his 24 copies. And so we stood behind him because, you know, he's gonna hold up the line so good. We'll have so much time to talk to them, you know. So we got to like finally going to meet them, and Zane was here again, so it was really fun, and we got them all gifts and stuff like that. But I was in charge of giving Zane and Louie theirs. So I was standing there while my two friends were sitting in front of me, and they were like turned towards each other and talking, and I was facing forward, and Harry was like right there, and like I didn't realize that I was like spacing off, so I was kind of just like staring forward, and then I realized that I was staring at him, and he looked back at me because he had finished signing his things, and he was kind of just like looking around, and he catches me staring at him, and so we're just kind of staring for a good like a couple seconds, and then he just like picks up his hand, and he's like, and I was like, and I like waved back, and he just like smiled and went back to like looking around and talking to Louie or something. And I was like, and I told my friends, I was like, guys, oh my god, Harry just looked over here. They're like, are you serious? I was like, yes. Like, it was amazing because I was like, yeah, that was me. But so then I got up and I just asked Harry for a high five, and he gave me one. He smiled. He was so cute. He has the biggest eyes. He looks like a little cat or whatever. And then I got to Louie, and we got him this like plushie like bear with really big eyes, and I was like, Louie, I got you this bear because people call you Boo Bear, and he was like, oh, sick, thanks, and he like squeezed it and put it in his box, and like I was so surprised to have gotten that like reaction out of him because usually he's just so sassy, like he doesn't care. So I was like really like, oh my god. He was like, and then I was like, can I have a high five? He's like, yeah, and he gave me a high five. He was really enthusiastic about it. I was like, whoa, okay. And so then I got to Liam, and I didn't really know what to say to him. I forgot to show him my nails. These weren't what it was like when I went there, but oh, it goes like that. It says Xyle, so it's supposed to be like, I don't know, you can't really see it, but it's Xyle. It looks right when I look at it. But I had these really cool nails with the tour outfit, but I forgot to show Liam because I was like, ugh. So I just asked him for a high five, and then I got to Zane, and then I was like, Zane, I bought you this bumper sticker, and he like takes it, and he's like, okay, whatever, and he was putting it in his box, but then he like stops, and he like reads it, and he's like, oh, I get it, and it had said, life is short, so break some rules, but I crossed out rules and wrote tables, and he's like, oh, breaking tables, I get it, that's funny, and he put it in his box, and he was like smiling. I was like, yeah, you know, because it's in your song. I was trying to be funny. He's like, yeah, and then he went back to drawing on the table, and I was like, saying, can I have a high five? He goes, oh yeah, of course, and he gave me a high five, and I was like, eee. And then I got to Niall, and I was like, yeah, just can I have a high five? And he's like, yeah, sure, and then he just gave me a high five, and that was it. So that was my second experience with them, and it was pretty great. So I'm going to break it here, and then you can just watch my next video because I have like 4 more times when I meet them. Okay.